Friday morning, Wealth Creation Investors and Traders. Matthew Buckley, the Chief Investment Strategist here at Wealth Creation Investing, and the meandering week is winding to a close here. After we left fourth quarter earnings in the past couple weeks, we're really searching for direction in this market, and it's been on low volume. So a lot of institutional traders, private wealth managers, mutual funds, a lot of large institutions are really waiting for the next catalyst to either drive this market higher or lower. And as regular subscribers of Wealth Creation Investing and Top Gun Options know, I believe it's going to be to the downside. However, we got some somewhat decent good news this morning out of the Empire State Manufacturing Index. If you recall, last month this completely fell out of bed. A huge swing to the downside, negative 7.8, and came in at a surprising 10 today. So manufacturing in the Empire State region potentially picking up. But let's take a look at this, guys. So here we go. From winter of last year, it's just fallen off a cliff, right? And then been subterranean, and then mysteriously out of the blue, it takes one of these big upswings. Not going to put too much stock into this. Empire State Manufacturing, obviously, we could see some Sandy effects in here, as people in the Empire State are rebuilding after getting shellacked, at least the southeastern part of the state, by Hurricane Sandy. So this may be an outlier here. Okay, this was a pretty significant trend to the downside, and to see that wide of a swing, essentially a nearly 20-point swing in the Empire State Manufacturing Index, I'm going to take with a grain of salt, especially with everything that's going on out there. Today, we're going to see some tick. How are the long-term purchases, domestic and foreign, going? It's the difference in value between foreign long-term securities purchased by U.S. citizens and vice versa. U.S. long-term securities purchased by foreigners. Okay, so we'll see long-term purchases and cap utilization rate. Exactly what's going. This comes from the Fed. The percentage of available resources utilized by manufacturers, mines, utilities, and again, it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When producers are nearing full capacity, they obviously respond by raising prices, and obviously higher costs are passed on to who? You and I. Industrial production coming out, and also University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming out near 10 a.m. this morning. That'll be a potential market mover, and especially, as I said, since we've really been trading in a market with low volume. What else is going on? I thought this was pretty interesting, especially for options traders out there. The Heinz deal this week from Warren Buffett and 3G Capital. $32 billion or $23 billion year, guys. And guess what happened? The couple days leading up to this deal, Heinz options barely have a heartbeat, okay, on a normal day. Leading up to this deal, ginormous activity in Heinz options. And here comes the SEC. If you think you can get away with it, you might be able to for a while until you get caught. So just outrageous options activity in the days before this deal was announced, and guess what? That's against the law. There's only a handful of insiders that knew this deal was going through, or allegedly a handful of insiders that knew this deal was going through, and somehow it got out, and guess what? When it got out, it's illegal, and people flocked to the options. Obviously, they don't flock to buy the stock, right? Because for, buy 1,000 shares of this stock, why don't you buy, 10,000 call options instead? Well, some people might end up in jail as a result of this. So that always puts a smile on my face when people on Wall Street or insiders in companies think they can pass along a tip to their buddy or get rich quick, and then they end up in jail. So hopefully that happens to some people who deserve it. So again, guys, not seeing too much activity in the market. We're seeing a great week in our weekly options model portfolio over at Top Gun Options. We're going to see nearly $3,000 in gains this week. We have two trades expiring today, an Apple Iron Condor and a Google Iron Condor, with about 400, $350 still left to go. And like I said, add that to the 27.16 gains so far, and we're going to see an over $3,000 return this week on $10,000 of risk. That's a 30% return on risk. And the past 2 weeks have been even better, folks. We're going to see nearly a $6,000 return on $20,000 in risk, guys. Again, about a 30% return we're seeing in the past couple weeks in our weekly options model portfolio. That's discipline. That's risk management, folks. That's superior execution. Since the service launched in the beginning of December, we're seeing approximately about a $1,500 return per week on average on about $10,000 of risk. So we're having an absolute blast in the weekly options model portfolio. If you want to take a test flight of that service, go to topgunoptions.com/weekly-options and take a test flight. Take a 2-week test trial and see how we're doing it. I'm getting ready after I shoot this video in a little bit to blast out 2 weekly trades for next week. Why am I doing it today instead of Monday? Well, Monday's off, folks, right? President's Day. So I want to get those trades out today because we can get an extra couple days of theta. Definitely an extra day on Monday of theta or time decay in the positions that I'm going to sell. So make sure you sign up, take a test flight of this incredible new service, and see how we're doing it here. Okay? Got to run. Got to get ready for the market to open here. Not too much going on. Like I said today, a couple reports. We're out of earnings. We're looking for the next catalyst to drive this market up or down. And I think it's going to be to the downside with sequestration and the budget fight coming up in a couple weeks here. It's about to get ugly, and if you're not hedged, you're going to get shellacked, okay? So make sure you join up with a professional wingman here at Wealth Creation Investing or over at Top Gun Options so we can show you how to manage risk in what's going to be certainly a volatile environment, okay? Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll talk to you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.